Hi everyone, my name is Dimitri and welcome back to DimitriTube. The Bachelorette, Golden Edition. Let's talk about it. As always, if you're enjoying my videos, please go ahead and pound that like button, pound that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. I'm a growing YouTuber and the likes and subscribes really help me out. So just one quick piece of Bachelor news before we get started. So Kelsey Anderson took a small break from social media and then all of social started to speculate that something was wrong in paradise between Joey and Kelsey. So if y'all didn't know, Joey is doing Dancing with the Stars and he's still on it. I'm not keeping track, so I don't know if he's about to win or what's going on. But anyways, he's doing Dancing with the Stars, so I doubt him and Kelsey have been having a lot of time together. And after Joey commented on it, he also commented, "Oh, it's our anniversary, by the way." Like, he almost didn't realize it was their 1-year anniversary from their engagement. And just from a media standpoint, that just looks so bad. So like, do Joey and Kelsey not have social media managers? Like, they're pretty big on social, so I feel like they would. But like, the optics of that is just so bad. Kelsey so happens to go off the grid near the anniversary, and then Joey forgets the fiance anniversary date. Like, again, I don't think that was purposely done, but it could easily be interpreted as that was purposely done because maybe they're about to break up after DTWS. And I'm not praying on their downfall. I hope they stay together. We'll just have to wait and see. That's all I got. Let's dive into the episode. The episode starts and we are back in Tahiti, and I am so excited to watch Joan break up with Guy. And that's not even a spoiler. Once the episode started, I was like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. Let's see it all unfold. And the beginning of the episode was very dramatic. Joan's friend, what's her name? Nancy. Nancy goes to check on Joan. She's crying. She's really upset. She explains Pascal broke up with her. And this was just so dramatic because it was like, she didn't even like Pascal that much anyway. Joan explains that she feels vulnerable and unlovable after the Pascal breakup. And in this moment, so did y'all think the dramatics were justified, or is it just because we've had like a week off? I just don't think it's very dramatic. It could be just me. Let me know. After that, we leave Tahiti and Joan gets on a cruise through Star Breeze by Windsor Cruises, and we go to Bora Bora. So just a heads up, Bora Bora is like a dream vacation spot for a lot of people. So Tahiti is like Hawaii. It's like a series of islands, and I don't know the names of all the islands, but I think one of them is Bora Bora. And Bora Bora, I think, is the most luxurious island and the most expensive to stay on. The island they initially were on, I'm pretty sure it was cheaper, but I don't know why specifically Bora Bora is more expensive than the rest. And like I said on my last video, yes, this is a dream vacation, but if you live on the East Coast, that is a very long flight and it takes a very long time to get there. Personally, I would just rather go to other places so I didn't have to deal with that crazy time zone change and long flight. And sorry, I messed that up. The group of islands is called French Polynesia. It's not called Tahiti. Tahiti is one of the islands and it's the most populated island, but the group of islands is called French Polynesia, and Tahiti and Bora Bora are two of them. After that, we move into our first Meet the Families, and we start off with Chock. Chock gets the opportunity to meet Joan's son, Nick, and her daughter, Allie, and their respective fiancés. I swore she said fiance. I guess they're both engaged. And during this Meet the Families, Chock was super nervous. Like, you could tell he was nervous. Like, he was more hyper than usual. Like, throughout most of the season, Chock has been very cool, calm, and collected, but during this, he was definitely like on edge. And during the Meet the Families, not much happens, but there's two things I want to point out. When Chock was initially talking to the family, Chock mentions the meeting of his family, and he says, "I went to everyone and I kissed her to show how much I care." And like, Chock was explaining this, that he wanted to make sure he kissed Joan in front of his family every time to show like that they're very loving toward each other and that he cares. And y'all, let me know if my thinking is not rational, but for me personally, I don't do much PDA. Like, that's just not me. I don't need to kiss in front of a ton of people. I'm not the one making out on the street. Like, that's just not me. The only place that I will do PDA is like if I'm at like a nightclub or something. Like, okay, like whatever. But at like a family reunion type of situation, like, nah, that's not what I'd be doing. And when Chock said this, it just sounded like he was trying to mark his territory. Like, I hate saying that, but that's just what it sounded like. And the way he said it was like pretty forceful. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Chock is a fine guy. He's a good looking guy. I'm pretty sure he's successful, but there's not anything specific that ties him and Joan. I think any woman would be like happy to date him. But a lot of people in the comments comments and on social get bad vibes from Chock, or they think he's probably very overbearing or something like that. During this moment, I could kind of agree with you on that. I see it a little bit. I think he's a fine guy, but I understand where people are getting that bad feeling about him. And personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I understand a lot of women would be turned off by this. Like, in general, Chock is a Southern guy, and a lot of Southern guys just have this like kind of mentality, oh, that's my girl, I'm gonna protect her, and he may be like a little overbearing, but that's just kind of how a lot of Southern guys are. You either like it or you don't. And I'm pretty sure Joan appreciates that fact, and it makes her feel safe. And previously, in terms of some of the other contestants, she's talked about, oh, this dude makes her feel safe. So I'm pretty sure that's very important to Joan. Second thing I want to say, Joan's son, Nick, seemed like a complete fish out of water. Like, he looked confused. He was like, why are all these cameras here? Why am I in Tahiti? Oh, I have to say lines. Like, he just looked so confused like the entire time. And normally when this happens, usually the wife or fiance will step up, but I guess his fiance was shy too, because she just let him drown. And like, another example of this is Jonathan's brother on Jen's season. Jonathan's brother was like really awkward on camera, and at one point his wife, if y'all remember, they met on like Tinder or something. She just took the reins of like the whole thing, which is often what happens. After that, we go to a one-on-one date with Joan and Chock, and I don't even remember what they did. I think they just sat down and like had some wine. But in this moment, Joan was acting so giddy, and she was like so elated. She was literally acting like a little schoolgirl. And she also says, every minute I'm with you, I get happier and happier. And like, she's gonna pick Chock. Like, it's very clear that she's gonna choose him. And then Chock responds to her and says, I love you, I wanna marry you. And Joan does not say it back because she wants to save it for the very end. Chock was very disappointed that Joan didn't say it back, but overall, Chock just has to put faith into what they have. That's the only choice he has at this point. But again, like I said earlier in the video, a lot of people get bad vibes about Chock. I will say this moment, I had a slightly bad vibe because it felt like Chock just wanted confirmation he was the winner. It wasn't necessarily him wanting to hear, I love you from Joan. Like, he just wanted to know if he was the winner, and he didn't get that in this moment. And don't get me wrong, I do think Chock likes Joan and wants to be with her, but in this moment, it just seemed like he only wanted confirmation he was the winner. After that, we move on to Guy meeting the families, and sidebar, I really liked Guy's shirt in this moment. It was a really nice color, and the shirt was a really nice fit. This was a really good choice. And Joan also served us an outfit as well. I really liked her jeans and the shoes. It was very 90s, but I still really liked it. And going into the date, Joan is basically like, the date. I want Chock, so I'm gonna blindside Guy and break up with him. And she doesn't say that specifically, but she does go on the date and say she's planning to break up with him because she wants Chock, and she basically just doesn't want to waste his time any further. And the only reason I thought this was like kind of crazy was because I was like, damn, can you not give him a date in Bora Bora first? But also, it was raining that day, so maybe she didn't want to get her hair wet. Joan breaks up with him, and she gives a weak breakup and a very weak apology, and she says, my heart belongs to someone else. And I was okay with that because we don't need a huge dramatic breakup. Like, their relationship wasn't that deep. But I will say, Guy was completely blindsided, but he couldn't show too much emotion because the Botox was getting in his way. But it was very clear he didn't see this coming. I truly think he expected to have a date and then maybe would have found out the answer. I don't think he expected it right in that moment. So after that, we go back to the studio audience live with Jesse Palmer, and they bring out Guy. And back in Bora Bora, their breakup was like slightly dramatic, but I just knew when Guy was on stage, he would be fine. Jesse Palmer brings out Joan, and she gets an opportunity to talk with Guy. There was really nothing notable about their conversation. This was definitely just an audition for Guy to be the next lead on Golden. And just a heads up, I think Guy at this point is the best choice to be the next lead for Golden. The only issue is I think he would be a boring lead. Like, his season would be fine, but I don't think it would be that entertaining. After that, we move on to the proposal. And yep, it's that time, outfit of the episode. For this week's outfit of the episode, I'm giving it to Joan for her proposal dress. Joan is wearing this long white gown with some like blue florals towards the top. And just a heads up, I don't think this dress is all that, but the outfits in general this episode weren't all that. So there you go. And there are just a few things I want to mention about this proposal, but the entire time I was watching it, I just wanted them to fast forward to after the final rose because I just wanted to know if they were still together. Next, if you made it this far in the video, please go ahead and pound that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Joan at one point says, I thought about John and didn't feel sad, and I thought, yes, we finally have some progress with her. And the vows were really cute. At one point, Chock says, I will honor John by loving you every day, and I thought that was very sweet. And just from watching this proposal and the breakup with Guy, we didn't get to see this on camera, but I think Joan behind the scenes made it very clear to both Chock and Guy that she will be getting proposed at the end of this. I wish we got more light into that because towards the end I wasn't sure what Joan wanted, but I'm pretty sure she made it clear to probably those two and like the top four that she will be engaged at the end of this. Also, in general, it was so refreshing to see two guys who, without a doubt, were ready to propose. Because it does get kind of exhausting always seeing these guys with second doubts about proposing. But both Guy and Chock, without a doubt, were going to propose. And there were no real qualms with it that we saw. And for the final rose, Chock got a golden rose. And that's new. Look at ABC trying something different. Oh, wait, because it's the golden Bachelorette. That actually does make sense. But then why didn't they make the roses gold throughout the season? Why only the finale? I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't know. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you all know I don't love these beach proposals, but I will say this one was super glamorous because right after they got engaged, they got to get on a cruise ship in Bora Bora, and just the scene was gorgeous. It was absolutely stunning. I do think this was a good choice. Then after that, we go back to the live studio audience with Jesse Palmer, and Chock's hair looks really good. I think he styled it a little differently. He embraced those curls. It looks really good. And Joan's dress is fine. I don't love it. She took a risk here, but it was just a little too Met Gala for me. Like, you don't need to do all that for after the final rose. And during their exit interview, they really didn't say anything, but there are a few things I do want to point out. First, they mentioned that they had 5 happy couples. So between filming and this episode, there was maybe about 4 months. So in between that time, they had 5 happy couples. And I found that interesting because during Jen's season, what's the guy's name? I'm forgetting names. Jen and that other guy. I don't remember. Jen and it's like Derek or something. It's not Derek. Whatever. Jen and that other guy were scheduled for a happy couple, and I was just curious how many they had. But Joan and Chock had 5, so that's a good idea of roughly how many they normally get. Next, Chock will not make it in Hollywood. If Jen wants to live that Hollywood lifestyle for a bit, I don't think him and Chock are gonna make it. But if they want to go back to Rockville or go back to Wichita and try to make a life work there, I think it'd be fine. But if Joan wants Chock to like live in Hollywood for 5 months while she twirls and pursues a career in Instagram modeling, like, I don't think Chock is gonna like that. Yo. And do I think Chock and Joan are gonna last? As long as Joan doesn't go crazy with the Hollywood lifestyle, I think they will last. As viewers, do I think they're an extraordinary couple? Do I think this was an extraordinary season? Not really. But I'm glad they both found love. Next, Jesse Palmer tells us to watch the college football playoffs. If y'all didn't know, ABC owns ESPN, and ESPN shows the big college football games. So he's got to promote this, but he does say he gets to call one of the playoff games. And like, no shade, I'm pretty sure that's what Jesse Palmer wants to be doing and what he'd rather be doing. So like towards the end of his football career and like early on at the end, he worked for like Fox Sports or something, and he's done like broadcasting for sports, and I think he'd rather do that than be the host of The Bachelor, but a paycheck's a paycheck. And I think this was very much offered to him, and his agent was probably like, oh, just do this, make ABC happy, and they'll probably give you more opportunities in the future for sports broadcasting. And like, I can't prove this, but like, Jesse's fine with doing this, but like, I'm pretty sure he'd rather be doing sports broadcasting. Next, Chock and Joan are going to Disney World. ABC provided them with an all-paid vacation to Disney World for them, their kids, and their grandkids. Like, that was pretty awesome. And like, I don't know if I'll ever have kids one day, but if I do have grandkids, I would be the type to spoil the hell out of them. And like, that's so cool that Joan and Chock get to be the grandparents that spoil their grandkids. Like, that's just fun. Next, we got to see a sneak preview of Grant's season. It starts airing like late January. And yes, I will be here reviewing, but ABC pulled out the budget for Grant's season. It looks glamorous. And apparently he's trying to release a mixtape because he's on his season singing, like actual singing, no auto-tune, no backup tracks. And I'm like, choices. And that is the end of the episode and the end of the season. I'm not doing a toast. This season was pretty mid, so it doesn't deserve one. But let me know your thoughts. Put it below in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and pound that like button, pound that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. And I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.